Welcome to the Bearded Finisher Podcast, your one-stop show for all things finishing and coatings. Your host, Zach, and a variety of industry experts will guide you through the art of perfecting your finishing and business game. From seasoned pros to fresh faces, get ready for tips, tricks, and trends to elevate your knowledge and business to the next level.
Welcome back. What's going on, everybody? We have got Mr. Jamie Bourne with Abode Academy. What's going on, Jamie?
All good, man. You?
Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic. How's everything over there weather-wise? Are you guys staying decent?
We live in jackets and wellies, so it's all good.
It's in Texas, and it's February, and I think that's usually how long winter goes. But here in the next couple days, we're supposed to be in the single digits, like 10, and I mean, this town is freaking the crap out in the Dallas area. Grocery stores are packed. I mean, they're empty. There's no food. People are buying everything. See people with sand in the back of their truck, and you're like, what the hell are you doing?
Is that minus 10 or 10 degrees?
Just 10 degrees, not even minus.
Oh, man, that's like a summer's day here.
And then just a couple weeks ago, it was like 80.
Oh, man.
It was 80 in the day and like 60 at night, and then all of a sudden this one last Arctic blast is coming through, like it does every year, but man, everyone's freaking out.
It's crazy that you see like the fires, and then the other side is like snow. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's all over the place. I mean, they can't make up. They don't know if it's global warming or, climate change or whatever. It's just, Mother Nature. As soon as you think you got her figured out, she's going to slap you in the face.
That's it, mate.
Well, let's just kind of get it kicked off. And we were talking a little bit about your history, and I was letting you know that I've had a lot of people just reach out, shoot me your profile, and be like, hey, if you're not following Jamie, you got to follow him. You got to get him on the show. So, kind of introduce us to yourself. Tell us where you're from in the UK, how you got started into the painting, and then we'll jump into Abode.
So I'm Jamie from the Abode Academy, previous owner of Abode Decorating, which is my main company back in the day. We live in England, in the UK, sort of a couple of hours from London, really. A little place called Wiltshire. If you've ever seen Clarkson's Farm, you're probably it's a big TV show here. We're not far from there, like the Cotswolds. So I've been at this job for 25 years, and then become full-time sort of trainer into the spraying probably about 7 years ago.
Man, so prior to that, so how did you get started into the finishing? Is that just something you did out of school?
Yeah, I mean, I left school. I mean, funny story, really. I left school with no idea what I was going to do. Didn't really get any GCSEs, if I'm honest. Didn't do very well at school. I'm dyslexic, so I just, messed around like you do. Left school with no sort of intention of doing anything else. Just sort of went straight into work at a service station. That was my first job, and I was flipping eggs. And the guy said to me that I was the best egg flipper he'd ever had, and I just thought, that can't be my legacy. I have to get out of this. So I went to the careers office, wanted to be an electrician, and they said, all we got is decorating. So and it was by just that chance that I just went, well, decorating is better than flipping eggs, so let's give it a go. And for years I did that job. And then probably about 12 to 13 years ago, I picked up my first spray gun in a joinery shop. Sprayed my first job. Just absolutely, I just loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the way the finish, the speed, the respect. Never trades. But as a decorator, you don't get that much respect in the UK for being a decorator. Sort of bottom of the pile job, even though it's a very hard job. And I just felt like I just loved it so much more. Like, I love that. It's like when you buy a sprayer, it's like buying man toys. And I just dived straight into, I wanted to know everything about it. And and eventually I happened to be on the job, and the guy I I was working with at the time. He's sort of in and out working with me. I was spraying. He wasn't. He said, "You've got to show me like how to do that. That's crazy. Like the speed you're doing it. We're spraying ceilings in like 10 minutes compared to like 2.5 hours cutting all the coping in and stuff." So he asked me to train him. I trained him and his mate, and then from the back of that, someone else asked me, and it just become the academy was born just off that. And funny enough, that guy, he's just outside here now. He works for me now full time. So that first student I had, he actually works here now full time as a trainer.
That is crazy. I mean, the first guy you trained, now he's working for you. I mean, so kind of help the audience here over in the US kind of understand, like in the UK, it's my understanding that most decorators, it's all brush and roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's massively grown, the spraying. I think when we first started it, there was another academy right at the start that sort of I would say that he was one of the first to start doing around that sort of era. And I think it's just grown, like it's growing and growing and growing and massive. And the more things that are becoming into spray, like you've got your spray granite, we do like spray stone, we've got all of your metal finishes spray, you've got kitchen spray and UPVC, like with your plastic window spray, furniture. There's just special effect is endless. It's absolutely endless. There's more coming all the time. And the finishing side now is bigger than I would say. There's more opportunity in finishing now than there ever has been. And even so, we get people from all sort of trades. We get plumbers, electricians that all wanted to get involved in it because there's so much money in it. It's crazy. Like compared to just being a traditional decorator, offering all of these services, it's life changing money. Like it changed my life for sure. And yeah, it's getting more and more popular. But when you put it into perspective, like America, say 95% of decorators spray. In the UK, you probably look at 5 to 7%. It's still tiny, but there's thousands. There's thousands. There's probably more decorators in the UK as well. That's probably how because there's a massive fluctuation of decorators. But again, that you're seeing that trade die slowly. But then the spraying, I think, is picking that back up again because it's more advertising for people. But again, yeah, it's very small, and we're nowhere near the cusp of it at the moment. But like I said, like even that small percentage, the academies are busy, like 5 days a week. They're busy.
Wow. So when we go into the academy, so we'll kind of let people, for those of you that don't follow Jamie, first you need to go follow him. But second, Abode Academy is something is an academy that you've created, a training facility. They're in Wilshire, and basically, essentially, you're teaching decorators who focus on brush and spray or brush and roll how to get into the spraying world, and you teach them all facets, different genres, types of spraying, all equipment.
So what it'd be is like you've got say the guy that's been brushing and rolling for years. His back's gone, his neck's gone, his core and his knees are gone. And generally, when you get sort of like nearly 40 like me, that's the point when you start making those changes. Can't carry on doing it. It's one of those jobs you can't do forever. But the spraying gives up people that never lease of life, and almost, and because it's less strenuous in your body, less stress in your body. But again, it's not just decorators. We're training people like carpenters, like joiners, UPVC manufacturers that want to spray their own plastics. The liquid metal stuff. You get interior designers coming in, so it's a massive bag of a different kind of clientele. That's why they do so well in the academies. But there's no one really. The industry needs it. Like there's no one training it really. There's a few of us doing it over here, but we've had people from the States, Australia, and the same thing. I mean, there's a guy in Australia called Spray Gun Club. That's about the only people I know. They're really good friends of mine. And that would be another person for you to chat to. They've got their own podcast, so I think that'd be a good collaboration for you there. But
oh yeah,
again, we want we don't care if they come here or go where we go. We want them to be trained properly. We want more people to get into spraying, and we want to highlight that it's not a DIY trade, a decorator, right? So we want to make sure that the guys are respecting themselves, and they're going out and getting the work and charging good money for it, because like over here, like decorators get paid, because anybody can do it, right? So anybody can go pick up a brush, roll a wall, right? And that's the problem. They want to go out and fit their own boiler. So like, it's hard to sort of, when you say to somebody, this is how much a job costs, they go, well, I can do that myself, actually. There's an option there. They can. Whether they do a good job of it or not, that's a different story. But I think with the spraying, it's one of the things is that client is just not going to go out and buy a spray gun and spray their windows outside the house. It's just not going to happen. It's a speciality, and I think it's become, you're taking away from the DIY section and you're offering more specialist finishes, and that's what we're trying to get the guys to do.
Nice. So when you talk about, you've mentioned like the liquid metals, I love them. Like I'm obsessed with the metal coatings, the liquid metal coatings. But they're still fairly new in the U.S. I mean, there's probably one guy who's doing really well at distributing, and he's doing Vero metal.
Vero metal, yeah.
But I know you've got Inno metal, you've got Mine or Mide. There's another one like that over there. There's like 4 of them now, but Vero seems to be one that's doing really well here. But still, I'd probably say less than 10% of finishers know about it. Is it because it's manufactured over in Europe? Is it more prevalent over there? Are you guys seeing it quite a bit?
You got a few guys doing it. It's never. The thing is with stuff like that is like we tell the guys before they book the courses. We say, look, like what clientele do you have? Where do you see the business going? What sort of finishes do you want to be offering? Like, because it's expensive to have it done. You're talking, £750 to £1,000 square meter. So like you need to make sure that you've got those clients. But like then you can start. It doesn't end there. You can start like making your own pieces then, so you can build something or buy old furniture. You can put a nice metal top on it. But again, it's one of those things. If you don't offer it, you don't know. So it's like the more you can offer, the more chance you're going to get these specialist clients that you want. But it is a niche market. Like, so it's never going to be absolutely massive.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's very time consuming. It's very labor intensive. The products are very expensive because they're real metal. Like a tin like this much would probably cost you £100. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's crazy.
But it's, again, if you can get the money and you get the charge for it. But I love doing it. I think it's one of those things so satisfying to do. And you can do all sorts of it. Do you know what I mean? Like chairs, furniture, like kitchens.
Yeah, I mean, we had a buddy of mine who's over in New Hampshire. He's doing basically an entire sink.
Yeah.
In the metal. It's built out of MDF, and he is doing the metal coating, and then he's putting a nano over the top of it so it won't impregnate into there. But man, it's gorgeous. It's like, it almost looks like concrete, but it's made out of, I want to say magnesium or something is what he's doing. God, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the thing you have with the metal that people like is you can build stuff out of MDF, like really bend it and do all sorts of stuff with it, which you couldn't really do with metal. So it's like to spray that coating on to get it that immaculate. That's why, and it's so much lighter. So if you're shipping it, it's obviously, that's why other countries are having it done in the UK. They're shipping it over to Dubai and China. They're all going everywhere with it.
Yeah. I was talking to the guy I was telling you earlier about, Jamie with Deal and Design. He's never heard of it, and he does a lot of antique furniture restoration for people all over Europe and even in the US. They ship it, these 200, 300, 400-year-old pieces of furniture to him, and he's like, I have to send stuff off to have it plated. And I'm like, oh, no. I got a product you need to try.
Yeah, right.
So try, because he's never heard of it. So I'm like, we got to get you some. So I sent him to the website, and he texts me back, and he's like, holy shit, how did I not know this stuff existed?
Well, that's the thing. I think in 10 years that might be quite a big product. But again, it all comes down to the cost of it. I mean, you need to weigh up sometimes. It's like, well, it's a great product and it works, but it's who's going to pay £750 to £1,000 a square meter? I mean, it's a lot of a labour intensive job. But again, if there's somebody out there that will have it done always. There's always going to be those clients.
Always. Yeah, that was always the fun thing. I've been seeing a real peak here in the U.S. of painters, and, you know, because I always say, I've long said, there is a world of difference between a painter and a finisher. You know, not even in the same, they may do the same thing, but they don't do the same thing. But there's been a transition here in the U.S., I would say, over the past, I'd say, 3 years, where it seems like there's a lot of guys that are making that transition out of painting and going into high-end premium finishes, the gloss, the high-end polished out gloss, automotive clear coats, the metal coatings, the specialty metallic coatings. And I mean, just like you said, it's very lucrative when you know how to do it. I mean, there's a lot of money. I mean, it's like my mentor, my father-in-law was my mentor, and he always taught me there's two ways. You know, he said, I've always been the type of guy that when I had a business, I want to do less and make more. So if you want to do less and make more, you got to stand out from everyone else. You can't be the same. So I'm like, well, that's a good philosophy.
It is. I mean, that's what he says. The guys put your money into a structure that pays better in less time. That's the whole point, because, you know, there's a system for it, you know, and like we get the guys doing the UPVC spray, which is like plastic windows outside, and I mean, you can make some serious money, but the customer's saving an absolute fortune. The same with the kitchen finishing. It's like there's two. I always say to people that in the UK, the two most expensive things to replace in the house are kitchens and outside windows. So it's like it's crazy money. So a lot of people don't understand. There's nothing really wrong with it, and trying to educate these people into having it done.
Yeah, that are having it done over and over again. So when you come to Abode, what kind of what's the predominant equipment used over there, and like what kind of spraying techniques are you guys using? Is it all airless, air assist?
Yeah, we use all of it: air assisted, airless, HVLP. But we actually have our own brands now. So I don't know if you've seen on our thing, we've got our own machinery. So we've got an Abode A6 airless sprayer, and we've got the HVLP, which is the A6, the A-Force 5, sorry, for the HVLP, A6 for the airless. So we've actually bought our own brand, which are obviously manufactured all over the world, different places. But the reason we did it mainly is because with the other brands, and they're great, you know, I don't disorder any of them, but the support is just not there. The guys are breaking their sprayers or something's going wrong, and there's 8 or 9 weeks for repairs. The guys just can't afford it. And when you're governed by the bigger companies, you can't just give them loan machines. So we had to take control of it, which we did. And now we offer, you know, a much better rate on the sprayer. Like I'm talking like thousands of pounds cheaper for the same equivalent. Really good warranty. And way better aftercare. So the guys, if their machine ever goes down, which at the moment, hands up, nothing's happened, but nothing's gone down. But if it did, we would give them a loan machine in the meantime, and it wouldn't be 8 weeks for repairs. It'd probably be within 24 hours. The only way we can do that is doing our own stuff. And it's this. I think because I've done the job for 25 years, I know that one day out of work is a massive problem. But obviously, the bigger brands, you've got turning over some of these $2 billion a year. You're just this to them, and that's the problem. And they get so big, they lose control of the aftercare, and yeah, we just want to make sure that our guys are looked after properly, give them a better deal on the equipment, give them better aftercare and better service.
That's awesome. Yeah, here in the States, it's kind of similar to that, but it's all through distribution. So you've got paint distributors that are selling all the equipment, but the margin is so horrible. Like these spray rigs that are 7,000 US, like the distributor's making $110.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the problem. See.
Yeah, so they don't care to service it. They could give a crap, and the corporation's not.
Well, the problem is, you think about it. If you get like I think it's still a 10% or 5% margin. If you give a distributor that price, we're more like 40% to the distributors, right? So like if they get a problem, they get a callback, or something goes wrong with the sprayer or the ball bearings and stuff or something, that profit's completely down the drain. It's gone. So what we say to our distributors is that if you buy a sprayer from us and you sell it to a customer, we will deal with all the aftercare afterwards. So all they will do then, because these people don't know. I mean, I'm not saying the shops don't know what to talk about, but they don't. They don't know about spraying like the people that make the sprayers and the people that run the jobs do. So giving them that much responsibility to say, well, you need to tell them exactly what's going on with the sprayer, what's the problem, because why would they know that? And the days that guy is not in, that knows about spraying, then the whole thing falls apart. And I hear it all the time. Our technical technician, Dave, is actually not in today, so it has to ring back tomorrow. It's just constant. So we rather make sure, because without a sprayer, any kind of sprayer, a very small problem can turn into a very big problem very quickly, right? So if someone's not on the end of the phone to take that call, then it could be game over straight away. And that's the point. We don't want that to happen. That's why we offer the training. So with some of our rigs, we offer free spray training days on purchase. So if you have an airless spray, you get 1 day airless day. If you buy a HVLP, you get a 1 day HVLP, all included within the spray course.
That is awesome. I'd say that's one of the biggest issues is people go out and spray it and they don't know about viscosity, or they don't know about cleaning the equipment when they're done, what to clean it with. So being able to go to a class and say, all right, like I can't tell you because I used to be on the manufacturing side for about 3 years in the wood coatings world, and I'd get phone calls and it would be, hey, there's a bunch of trash coming out of my rig. And you're like, well, walk me through your process. And they're like, well, I'm using your water-based coating, but I primed everything with lacquer vinyl sealer, but I flushed it with lacquer thinner, and then I put the water coating in. And I'm like, you can't do that. You can't mix lacquer and water. So I'm like, there's so much training that you think that these guys should have because they're in business. But man, I love the concept of the training, because that is a huge, I would say, gap here in the U.S. I mean, props to you for realizing that.
I mean, when I first got into spraying, I blew my hand off, and then I was tape all over the walls. There's runs everywhere. Like, it was because I watched so much YouTube videos. It's like, oh mate, this is easy. Because I'm a decorator, I know how paint works. But I was in for a massive shock, and for 2 years, really, I struggled. I did, and I made a lot of mistakes. I ended up getting rolled out most of the time in the end. And then I started bringing it in and out of the business slowly, and it took me a long time. So I think, like, when I tell some of the guys, excuse me, on some of the courses, and say, like, look guys, this is how you do it. And they go, oh wow, I wouldn't have done it like that. That's amazing. It means 2 years of mistakes. So yeah, it's a handy thing to give people.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, I say the same thing. I live, my wife and I and our 2 kids, we live in a motorhome full time. We love it. We travel a lot, but I'm doing some remodeling right now. And, I had a painting company for 10 plus years before I sold it. But doing this remodel, I just realized absolutely how much I despise brushing and rolling.
Yeah.
I'm like painting walls and I'm just like, man, this sucks. I hate this. I'd much rather be spraying right now.
It's really funny because actually I had done the job now for about 2 years, because I've obviously gone full-time trainer and running the business with the spray equipment. But when I used to go back to brushing and rolling, I actually quite enjoyed it, because it was like, I've done this for a while.
It just comes right back nice and easy. So with the Abode Academy, how long is your process? Like, are you guys doing on your typical training class? Kind of fill us in on that and what that goes through.
Yes, we have about 6 or 7 different courses really that we run. So most of the courses are 2 day. We have some 1 day courses, which is obviously the free ones that come with the HGLP and the hour. But basically, we try and keep everything practical, because I'm dyslexic, so I think like most people that are decorators, are not saying they're stupid, but But like we're not that way. I don't know. I wasn't very good with numbers. We were very good with stuff like that. So I become a decorator for a very good reason. And I think most people are decorators. Don't want that office job. Not that way inclined, and that's what they do, right? So I think the way we train it is very hands-on. It's no classroom sit down, but it's all practical. If over 2 days we give it like a membership. We have like a Abode University. They can join afterwards. All the videos are on there for them. So basically, all the days that we train the guys, they can watch back the whole day on video as well as a recap. They get 24 hours support from myself and James, my trainer. And we're very good. We're very, very good at aftercare. Any of our guys will tell you that we'll take calls on holiday. I could be in the hot tub on holiday and I'm taking phone calls on things. But we understand that they've only got you, and they need, and sometimes you're needed. And I'll be honest, I don't see this as a job. It's like a hobby. I love doing it. I love helping people. I love seeing people do well. And I think that's just part of the job. And it's, when you're having a chat with the guy on the weekend about the spraying, it's just like having a chat with one of your mates. But we do have a few different courses. So we have like UPVC, which is obviously plastic windows and doors and guttering. And then we have a kitchen finishing course, furniture finishing course. You have your liquid metal. We have special effects, which is like all of the crackle, gold marble, and it's all the stuff you've probably seen on there. Mother of pearl, we do. Airless, which is like obviously walls and ceilings, and then obviously all of the other specialist stuff like the granite, spray stone, metal finish. It goes on and on really, and we're always adding more to the training side. We're trying to increase I think the specialist stuff is where we want to go with more, because the decorators are really interested in that side, because as soon as you specialise in anything, you're going to stick out. So, and I think that's why they're so popular.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So on the spray stone stuff, you've mentioned that's not something that's very big here. What's sprayed stone? Is that just like a crushed granite?
So you get sprayed granite and then you get sprayed stone. So it's like the two different compounds. Some of the granite finishes real bits of granite. And there's plenty of things. There's a company in America that's done it that I've been talking to recently. So it's little bits of granite and sand and PVA, and it's all mixed together, and then you spray it. There's everyone's got a different system. The same with the metal. Some people put it in polyester, some people put it in polyurethane, some people put it in water-based or an acrylic. It's like there's so many different ways of doing it. The spray stone though is like it's basically stone. It looks like real stone. There's probably parts of real stone there. You spray a wall with it, and it just looks like a stone wall.
Oh, is it like lime? I mean, I think there's a company called Stone Coat.
Yeah, it's probably similar.
Yeah. It's like, I think they're real big here. I want to say they're out of Texas, but theirs is like a lot of it's like limestone. They have different ones, but the main one they sell is limestone because it's freaking everywhere down here. Interesting. And are you doing that exterior or interior?
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Never thought about that on interior, but I guess you could.
Yeah, the granite's quite impressive in the interior. It's like full bathrooms and stuff. You can smooth it down so you sand it and you lacquer it, so you can get it onto a smooth consistency. It's very popular. Like at the moment, like I said, you can take anything, like even a plasterboard wall, and make it look like a brick wall. It's crazy. So you can put your lights in.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, there is people in the US that there is companies out there. I would say it's probably more available, to be honest, in the US than it is over here.
Man, they're not doing a good job advertising. I can tell you that.
No, mate, it's really weird. It's like the states hold all the keys, and the English just sort of pushing it. It's more becoming bigger here than it is there.
That is so interesting. Yeah, I guess because what's most decorators in the UK, and maybe you can kind of help me on this one. Do they do a lot of stone work, masonry work, or is that a different?
It's like no, but then they go, well, I might do actually. It's like I think if you show a customer like look, because you get the wallpaper, so you feature wall in wallpaper behind your bed, right? And then it's like, well, actually, do you want that wall to be stone, or do you want around your fireplace stone, or it's just endless where you can go with it. Fences, floors. it just changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah,
of the top,
yeah.
you know.
I was talking to a guy he was on the show, and he has plaster. He's really big into lime plasters. So interviewing him, he was in town, we talked, but following him on social media, plaster's not a huge thing here in the US, lime-based plasters. I mean, to my knowledge, is very popular in Europe because of the architecture, but that's a whole technique in itself. That's a whole nother discipline. Trowel and plasters, man, that is rough. Tried to do a sample for my wife and it looked like donkey crap. So I was like, nope.
No, it's hard graft, like really hard graft. But again, even the spray is taken off in the plaster over here. So the spray plaster stuff is taken over here now quite a bit.
Really, man, there's just so many different technologies out there to get this stuff on there.
Oh, mate, it's going to be. I'd say in the next 5 or 10 years, and there's going to be so much more coming. The finishing side, I think, is it's going to be crazy big.
So so here in the U.S., so I always find it fascinating to see the difference. Polyurethanes, I would say in the last 7 years have really picked up. Like every European 2K polyurethane manufacturer that's in Europe, everyone's coming over to the US because everyone wants to sell here in the US. It still hasn't fully taken over. Lacquers are still, I would say, predominant wood coatings here. High build lacquers, pre-catalyzed lacquers, post-cat conversion varnishes. That's still probably 75 to 80% of the wood coatings. It's slowly creeping in, but are you guys still using a lot of water-based products? Because those are really, I would say, more than the solvent-based polyurethanes, water-based polyurethanes are exploding.
I mean, I'm polyurethane solvent. I mean, kitchens I did for years. That's just my way I did things.
I'm a solvent poly guy. I love it.
But like again, the problem you have with the water-based stuff, and because we have our own paints, we have our own brand. It's called Abode Academy. We work closely with a company called Colour Spray, and they manufacture all of our paints. So we have our own branded paint called Abode Academy. So we sell both systems, yeah. But the problem is with some of the water-based stuff now, it's like you get the cross linkers, the hardeners, and the reactors, and this stuff is not good for you, man. Like, so I think a lot of people don't get me wrong, they're both shit. That's what we say. So that one will kill you, and so with that one, right? So, but the problem is people, because they think it's water-based, they go, it's all right. Let's take the mask off and walk around it all day. And then it's still gassing, and they're breathing in all the ice. Like, there's a small, some of the hardeners have got a small amount of isocyanate in it, right? So this is because it's a water-based coating. People get complacent; they think it's safe, so they end up with breathing problems, or their eyes start swelling. And then I see more people over here going into the hospital with breathing problems from the cross linkers than I do with the isocyanate problems. So I think when you use isocyanate,
cross linkers way worse.
Make sure your beard shaves down. I mean, I think for you probably struggle, but you make sure that
most definitely.
You make sure that you're wearing a decent mask. You make sure everything's vented. You make sure you got your. I used to wear an air vent. You know what you're using. You know what it's about. You know it's dangerous, and I think you take more care. But I think now there's so much. It's so uneducated on the water-based side. Yes, that if you don't put anything in it, they're probably safer. But as soon as you start adding all the chemicals, then to me, I look at it all and I weigh it all up. I think that takes 6-7 hours to dry. This takes about 4 minutes, right? That one's bad for me now. So that one's bad. And I just weigh it all up and I go, I just use polyurethane. So and that's the point. I think if in a customer's house, yes, like you can't be careful. Like if you're spraying the carcasses and you take everything back to the workshop, but if a polyurethane takes you, say a gas is off for 10 minutes, I don't know, say it's a gas off period of 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you've got a water-based gas off for 12 hours, which one's more safe in the customer's property now? I mean, and this is the point I'm trying to, I don't know the answer. I don't know. I just, I can be talking waffling. But for me, it's like, if that's a long drying period, that gas is longer for that. That's got a chemical in it, it's dangerous, so is that one. So I just, But I think you've got to be careful.
It's from the manufacturing side. When I was there, I mean, it's interesting because you look at the water-based stuff, and yeah, it off gases, and yeah, there's isocyanates in there. They're different, they're aliphatic, they're usually encapsulated, they're not doing the aromatic isocyanates. That's the cancer causing stuff. That's the stuff that they used 20 years ago that was dropping people like flies. You don't see it too much anymore, but it's still out there. But if you kind of look at the toxicity of it's a little condensed, but there's not a whole lot difference between what even a solvent base, for that matter. It's a little more for solvent base, but not much than what, if you're sitting in traffic in the highway with your windows down and there's 20 cars at a stop and there's just all those fumes pumping into the air. It's a lot of it the same. I mean, a lot of it's comfortability. I mean, when you got into the polyurethane world, my deal was there's always a way to manipulate the coating. Dry time, whether it's dry time, whether it's, you need flowability. I mean, polishing, there's always a way to control the coating. When you get into the water-based world, it's like 60% water. At a certain point, you don't have as much control. And that's what always got me. Like, I love the control of a polyurethane. It doesn't matter if it's 30 degrees outside with 10% humidity, or if it's 80 degrees outside with 80% humidity. I can have a coating. I have a coating that I can manipulate that will lay down fine. When you get into water-based, Jesus, Pete, too hot, too cold, too humid, too wet, too dry. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I always say to the guys, it's all about having options. Like so we have like two. I used to have 2 or 3 pumps on the wall, right? So one would be in solvent, one would be in water-based, one would be in lacquer. I mean, so that one was my clear coat, and that was how it worked. And then what I did is I made decisions based on the jobs I was doing. So if I was doing a full set of wardrobes in the customer's house, and it was all refitted, then I would go in with a water-based system because I didn't want to spray that much polyurethane in the property. But if I had a kitchen respray and it was 99% of it was back at the workshop, and I could go in and just knock in a kind of end panels, I would do it in polyurethane, right? And the customers weren't there. But if I had a full kitchen respray and I could only take half of it away because all of the existing parts couldn't be taken off, then I might look at the whole thing differently and go, well, there's too much spray in the house, and then I would use a solvent primer, water-based top coat, and then work my way in. They've always had options, yeah. But I've always preferred, like you said, I always preferred a PU finish because, like, if I had problems, I could do it. I could correct them very quickly. In water-based, you've got a much longer window. I wasn't paying for a massive heat in the room because I could, even like -4, I've had this stuff go off in like 10 minutes. So it's just an easy, forgivable product, and that, I think for me is more profit, more money. But again, I think what makes me laugh sometimes when I see the guys using only water-based in a spray booth with an air-fed mask. I just don't understand it. I'm like, well, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, you've got the full control of using a better product that dries quicker, is more durable, and you're not, there's missing a trick there. But again, I think these things will eventually be banned. I think like some countries will ban. I think they have in some places already. I think it will eventually work its way through the US and the UK. But I think hopefully at that point there'll be the water-based has come on a long way. Like, it's like our water-based system is miles better than what it was. But again, it's still
not as good as a PU.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, would it ever be that good? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either. But yeah, I used to tell people all the time when I'm like, man, I love water. Water's a great product. It's great for a lot of the market, but it's probably 75% of what a water base, of what a true PU is. I mean, you're going to get that much more durability, and then that's much easier to use. Have you noticed a big issue? One of the biggest issues here is the open time, the pot life of a PU. That's what everyone complains about.
In the summer here, it can get hot sometimes. But like, the open time of it, no, it's because over here it's not. We're working in sort of like mid temperatures. It's not too hard to work with. But yeah, if you're working under like high heat and humidity, like, I mean, I've had it before. Like, we've had it 40 degrees in the UK, and those days of spray PE are quite difficult. When you're spraying the edges, it's drying on the edge of the door before you even finish, like, got to the top. But those days we just pack up and go home, or you could just put more snow filler in, more retardant. There is ways around it. That's what again. I think you see what we see in the UK is like the guys that use water-based. They just get in the spray and then water-based all summer, and they get to winter and they go solvent, and then they never go back to water-based. So that's quite a trend.
I could see that.
But again, I think it's still about having options. I'm not against water-based. I think it's a great product. I think that there's a time and a place. Spraying skirting boards and doors. I mean, you call it trim, or your trim work. In the house, I think that is the water-based system. And then anything like high traffic areas, kitchen stuff, I think that's why I mainly stuck to the PU.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I mean, I'd still love PUs anytime I get my hands on some. What's the main PU over in the UK that you guys are using?
Well, before we brought our own out, we used to use a lot of like Renner, Sherwin-Williams. It's quite big over here. Sayalac. So Sayalac is basically Sherwin-Williams. Exactly the same product. Sherwin is Sayalac, same product. And then you've got the Renner. You got a few like backstreet jobbies, like trying to make their way into the market with them. But again, I think like some of the PUs over here like are really crap. But the main good ones are like the Renner and the Sayalac, and obviously ours now is probably on par with that. Because a lot of work comes into it, but like before ours was about, then it was definitely more the Sherwin and the Renner.
Yeah. I mean, it's still big over here too. It's Sherwin, but it's nice to be able to have something to give the guys an option, these decorators an option to go with something that's not the monster among men, Sherwin-Williams. God love them, and they've got their place in the market. But I'd say about every decorator or distributor out there, the whole goal is to keep people from buying from Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Sherwin are massive. I think the biggest paint company in the world now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, since PPG, well, no, Nippon might still beat them out, but I don't know. It's tough between Nippon and Nippon, or however they say it, and SW. They are always fighting for the number one spot. They're just massive. That's crazy. So I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you got stuff to do, and it's getting late in the day for you guys over there. But what's some advice you would give to a guy starting out in the painting world that's getting into finishing?
I would say look at your competition. Look at what they're doing. Look what they're not doing. Be the best. We always advise guys to have their own workshops instead of spraying in customers' houses. We've always said that. We think it's a better way of doing it. And just really master. I mean, I think a lot of people miss out the sales and the advertising, and I'd master that. I'd be a master salesman, and I'd master your social media. Like, these are the things that people, when they start a business, yes, you could be amazing at your job. You could be the best. But if you're not good at sales or marketing, then the whole thing falls apart. So I would, if you're going to do it, like, because we say to the guys that we train here, they're amongst working for themselves, doing other jobs. Then you need to take 2 weeks off. Do not do any jobs. You need to focus on that business if you're going to grow it. Because if you go back to work now, you're going to go back into the rut. And those people generally don't see. The people we see do the best are the people that have left their job completely and then pursuing this new career. That's the best.
There's no option. Yeah, I mean, it has to succeed. I mean, that was the other thing that I was going to ask you about is, like, what advice myself and a lot of these other guys could you give for, I mean, your social media is just killing it. I mean, you have an amazing following out there. How did you get there on social media?
Do you know what it was? It was one of those things. It's like, we were posting here and there, and I'd be like, oh, I forgot to post this week. Oh God! When I did one, and I was like, why is it not growing? Like, why am I not bigger? And then we decided that we were going to do a structured system that was around the same sort of time every day. So I looked at when the people that were watching me were watching my videos, right? So I looked at those times. So it was between 3:00 and 6:00, right? So we chose 5:30. I thought in the middle somewhere there. So 5:30, we went and posted around in that half an hour. Anywhere between 5 and 5:30, we posted daily. Just sometimes carousel, sometimes reel. Sometimes carousel, sometimes reel. It's all right to mess it up every now and then. Like, you know, if you have a day, oh my God, I didn't post on Wednesday, no one's gonna die. But like that structure, I did that consistently for over a year, and then all of a sudden, one of our videos just went boom, and I woke up in the morning, I think I had about 60,000 followers within 24 hours. So.
Holy crap!
It just kept growing, and in the last couple of years, because we started, we had about 6,000, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. But we stay consistent, and you've got to not be defeated. I think like now, like our followers, like we get a few here and there again, and then all of a sudden they go again, and you've got to be. And the algorithm, there's people out there that learn how to post on social, but no one knows what the algorithm's doing. It can be even potluck sometimes that you post a good video at the right time and it just goes bang, right? But it's all about consistency. And I think to get stuck on how many followers you have can sometimes also be a downfall. Because if you concentrate on that, you're not concentrating on actually producing good videos. So if you concentrate on doing, like if you do, we got to make sure you can keep up with it, right? So like if you're doing, we do 7 a week, but we've got so much content. We've got like students with certificates, sprayers. So we've all, but like if you're a guy that's like working full time doing decorating, be realistic about how much you can post. Make sure those posts, because otherwise you get creator burnout. You're doing too much. The videos are diluted. They're crap. No one's interested. And it depends what your audience. If your audience is interior designers, that's what I would be going after if I was a finisher. So I would base on like doing like negative positive. So don't put this color with this. Put this color with this instead. So like creating these hooks in the videos.
Questions.
Yeah, because like I said, the problem is that over in the UK, and people do it all over. They go, "Here's a picture of my job." No one cares. Right? No one cares. Right? So no one cares. Right? If you do it for a job, you especially don't care. Right? So, so for us, what we do is we give out helpful tips. So like, oh guys, look, we put our tips in this thing. Like, oh wow, that's great. Where'd you get that from? So it's education, and then it's to our customers, but then your customers might be. Like your customers might be interior designers. So you've got to work out what they want to see. It's very difficult, but it's all about consistency. That is it.
I would say consistency is a good one. Like I'm growing and growing, and someone put it in perspective with me. It's like, when you think about it, you got 5,000 followers. People are like, oh man, I need to get to 50 or 60. But I'm like, someone's like, you got 5,000 people that want to see what you're doing. Put 5,000 people in an auditorium. It's a shit ton of people. Like,
yeah, this is the thing. I think it's not, because the thing is, you think they're only, if you, for example, we've got like 120,000, right? So like, but like how many of those people are actually going to book a course, right? So you've got to look at it. It's like, you'd rather have 5,000 people that are willing to invest into your business. That's the point. So people get so stuck on the number, and I think you'll see like brands going like, "Oh, I want to use you because you've got 200,000 followers." But the people follow they follow the people. They don't follow what you're presenting. So if I'm there saying, "Oh, you should buy this pen. It's amazing," right? From this company that sent me in, right? No one cares about the pen. They care about you. So like those companies don't understand. It's like it doesn't grow that account. They follow because of the people. I think that's
that's a big one. I tell guys that all the time. I'm like, listen, like, it's great. I'm glad you did a kitchen. Get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
People want to see you. They want to know who you are. They're going to call you because they feel like they know you because they've watched your videos for 3 months before deciding who they're going to have come bid their kitchen. They don't call you because they see 30 pictures of kitchens. They want to see who's walking to their door and who's going to be in their house every day. It creates an element of trust, and it creates a relationship before you've ever met them.
It's more personal. And this is the thing. I think some people struggle with the character. I mean, I was terrible. I'm much better than I was. But like, it's funny because when you get people come in now, like, oh man, it's weird seeing you in real life. It's like that you see on the camera on the side. I think, oh, what are you talking about? But I actually met a guy not long ago that I follow on YouTube, and I thought, oh, that is quite weird actually seeing him there because I've watched very much of it. So I can understand why people mean by that. But again, it's that connection between the person and like if you're just there, like look at this and just. But it's a full-time bloody job.
Oh God!
You got to be dedicated to it like hard. And it's I'm lucky. I've got a good team behind me, and they help a lot. I mean, I make most of the content, and they put it. My missus puts it together for me, and then they edit all the videos up, and we're sort of still in our studio now, and I've got a lot of help. But it is, that's why I say to the guys, if you're a one-man band, like 3 videos a week consistently, if you can handle it, even 2, it's better than nothing. But make those videos good. Don't rush them through. Think about your content. Think about your clients. But if you just post 1 video a month, it's never going to go anywhere. Like, you have to be so bloody rigorous with it.
You've got to be diligent. That's for sure. I've got some other businesses that I have and social media for those. So it's like 3 pages that I'm trying to constantly update, and man, it'll wear you out fast.
It's hard. I mean, this is why I say, you've got to weigh up whether some people don't bother with it. They're just like, well, I don't really want to do it. You've got to understand why you're doing it. It's like, that's what I say. I think people look at the numbers rather than it's the number thing for me. Don't get me wrong. It looks great. It looks great, but the reality of it is, how many of those followers actually use my business? I think what I do like about it is the community it creates. Like, so, like, we see people at the Decorators show, so we've got big stands there, and they come over and shake your hand and say, "Mate, you've helped me so much with what you." And I think, oh, it's nice, it's a nice feeling, and then they actually throw a bloody picture, which is strange, but it's a really strange world. But like in some ways, this one person said that I changed his life. He's like, "You've changed my life," but I thought that was. It's hard to it's a weird world that you've helped somebody that much. They've actually come across and said you've changed their life. And I think that part of it is a lovely feeling. I'm not going to lie. Once someone asked me for a picture, I think that is, it makes you feel great. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, how could it not? Agreed. Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Our main goal is to help people. We want to see people do well, and our guys have done very well in these courses.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, one last question I always like to ask, just get the community to know you. Again, if you guys aren't following Jamie, go check him out. But what's Jamie, interesting fact about you that we may not know that might surprise us, and what do you like to do when you're not running the academy?
I like fishing. I get a lot of fishing. I like going on a bike or an e-bike, so I like a bit of danger. I used to have a skateboard, but like it's getting a bit older in the tooth for that now, so I'm too scared.
Those e-bikes can be scary now.
They are scary. They are very very scary because they go too quick. Yeah, I mean, I've obviously got two. I've got 2 young girls. One's 2, one's 5. And my whole life is about them, really, mate. I'll be honest now.
Yeah, my daughter's 4, and it's my son's 7, my daughter's 4. But yeah, that's pretty much it when you get kiddos.
But that's what I mean. Outside of work, we got a pretty good life, like I said. But maybe it's about the kids now. That's the only thing. We have a great time with them and make sure they get everything they need. So.
That's it, man. Awesome. Well, man, Jamie, I appreciate you coming on the show. Awesome conversation. Great tips. We're going to get your links down in the bio there. So you guys make sure you go follow him, check him out. I think that's about it, man. I don't want to keep you too much longer. Again, thank you for coming on the show.
No, cheers for having me.
We'll have to get you on again and see how everything's going over there.
Yeah, man. Well, if you need sprayers in the US, we can send them over.
There you go. I like it. All right. Mondays, everybody. Make sure you're following us. Check out the videos on YouTube, all major platforms, and we'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the Bearded Finisher Podcast. We thank everyone for joining. Keep hustling, keep learning, and never settle for anything less than your best. Remember, the path to perfection is a journey, not a destination. Until next time.